you know, one of the big Hollywood movies or people writing a book and said, I've got an idea. We're going to shut down the whole world for 2 years and put people out of work, and all they say, unrealistic. That'll never work. But that's what we've all been through, and what we've seen, the closures we've experienced, losing $750 billion to the U.S. economy, international inbound ground to a total halt, and then the record loss of jobs. When you think of our industry had 17 million people in our industry, and in May of 2020, 8.5 million of those people were out of work. And here we are today on a rebound, which is so exciting. And through it all, Brand USA has been doing some phenomenal work getting ready for this moment, and this is the moment. This is, I always say, this might be the 53rd IPW, but it's the first IPW. This is the IPW where we're bringing the world back. And I'd like to thank everyone that worked so hard on our team to get Brand USA $250 million in emergency funding. Thank our partners, the Commerce Department, Secretary Gina Raimondo, and Assistant Secretary Grant Harris, who you'll meet in a little bit, for your support through all this. It's so important. And we're really on our way to recovery. And you know, people are saying it's going to be 24, 25, baloney. It is going to be 23 is going to be the year. And this is a coil spring. Travel is going to come back bigger and better. And never did we need Brand USA more than right now to tell the story and all that. And to tell the story of what Brand USA is doing, my dear friend and the leader of Brand USA, Chris Thompson.
Hey, Roger, don't leave yet. You know, I think we all know, we've heard, and you'll hear it several times, that this is Roger's last IPW, so it's his swan song. If you look at the last 17 years, what he's accomplished, and the profile and the strength that he's brought to U.S. travel and our sector in Washington. We always talk about not only having a seat, but now having a voice and having an influential voice to inform decisions across our federal government partners as it relates to us being able to do our job. Certainly there's been tons of milestones that he could take credit for, and selfishly I'll reinforce what he did for us. You know, 12 years ago, they passed the Travel Promotion Act. We brought into existence. We have to be reauthorized every 5 years, and we've made it through 2 of those. And then, as he mentioned, under unprecedented and extraordinary times, we needed some help for us to be able to get back to what we do, helping lead the industry back to international travel. We were asked to bring forward a plan, and Roger took that plan along with our partners at the Department of Commerce. Thank you for that. That was amazing. So thank you, Roger, for everything. We're also really blessed and fortunate to have a great board of directors, and I'll call out first our chair, Allison Wordsworthy. Alice is president of global marketing for Universal Resorts, and she's been on board for 6 years. Alice, thank you for all your leadership, for everything. We have a total of 11 board members, and we have 7 in attendance here, and I don't think all 7 are here, but you see their pictures here on the screen. Thank them for what they do for us. Without their leadership, without them helping inform decisions and things that we're doing, I don't think we'd be quite as good as we are. And we certainly have had great leadership on our board over the years. So thanks to each and every one of you for what you do to help us do what we do. So let's talk about where we've been. Since 9 months ago was when IPW was in Las Vegas. A little sooner, or quicker turnaround because it was held a little later. And certainly it seems like just yesterday, but in some ways it seems longer than 9 months because a lot's happened since then. Of course, we learned at IPW that our borders were going to open, then on November 8th they opened. So that was the biggest thing we needed to have happen in order for us to get back to some semblance of what things looked like pre-pandemic. Travel Week is our event going to UK and Europe to bring suppliers of travel together with buyers of travel. We held our second version of that in face-to-face at the County Hall in London and had a great turnout there. We launched a brand new international pavilion on our global marketplace. And then we also started a podcast called Travel Talks, and it's to hear how our industry stakeholders are helping us to lead ourselves back to international travel. And that's been a great way for us to not have to tell our own story, have our stakeholders be part of telling the story. When you look at some of these things in more specific detail, you know, our job, particularly as it relates to this event and just in general across all year long, is to try to do our best to bring suppliers of travel together with buyers of travel, and then you who help us tell our stories. So we've been working really hard at that, and over the course of the last 9 months, and this fiscal year, we've had educational webinars where we trained over 11,000 agents and travel trade members. Our USA Discovery program, which is the way for people to become more knowledgeable about everything there is to see and do in the United States, had over 1,000 agents participate and over 1,800 badges achieved in that program. Our Brand USA Global Marketplace, we hosted 2 one-on-one business sessions, one for the UK and Europe and another for the Americas. Again, our effort to bring every resource we can bring to the table to help our partners be the most informed as it relates to marketing internationally. And then we attended a few trade shows, Mexico, Denmark, and then a couple here in the U.S. with our receptive tour operator community. Let's talk about our global marketplace. As you may know, in 2020, when we finally realized we weren't going to be able to hold Travel Week for the second time, we built the Brand USA Global Marketplace, which gave us the chance to actually bring that event to life on the digital platform, and certainly it's had reach and relevance all throughout and met every goal we were looking for it and more, and will do so as we move forward. It was launched in 2020, and the biggest addition between last time we were together and now is our International Pavilion. This International Pavilion is our focus on international marketing, our ability to bring every resource that our partners need to understand what it takes to navigate international markets, understanding cultures, mediums, and everything that's unique about doing that all over the world. You know, domestically, when you market in the US, it's pretty uniform. You just decide how deep you want to be, where you want to be, and how often you want to be. Internationally, it's very challenging. So this resource is a market by market. Now 11 of our top markets are up and running, and you can go into that resource, choose the market, and you'll find market-specific overviews about what defines that market for international travel. Research libraries, which is research that we generate, our primary research we aggregate, the secondary research that we bring to the table. And then a lot of the directories of the travel trade and travel media. That's the currency when you're in the market, is to know who's packaging travel, who's telling the stories, and to understand who those people are and how to get in touch with them. So for those of you that have not been back to the global marketplace, I encourage you to get there. It's a great resource and continues to get better. So we're really excited today. You see this chart on a regular basis. We call it the three-legged stool. I'd say there's some in Washington that say there's probably more legs than 3, but we talk about the 3 being in the areas of advising and informing travel policy. Our Department of Commerce has carried the water before Brand USA existed. They still do that in markets that we don't have a footprint in. So they've been a great resource. They are the conduit of our partnership with the federal government, and they navigate and manage that. Of course, you guys travel through all its iterations, all its acronyms, and every way that it manifested itself prior to Ryder's arrival, but certainly since he arrived and over the last 17 years has been a powerful force for advocacy. And then we're the new kids on the block, the third leg of the stool, and our job is to market. And that's all we do. We're not allowed to lobby on our behalf. We're fortunate to have an army of advocates in Washington led by U.S. Travel to do that, and so that's been great. But our public-private partnership, and I would say since the last time we were together, no better example of how that works. Isabel Hill, many of us know Isabel. She's a great friend of ours. She retired at the end of the calendar year. But Isabel and the team at the NTTO and the Commerce team in general pulled together the Travel and Tourism Advisory Board as the last administration was on its way out, as this one was coming in, and put on the table all the issues related to travel and tourism that we needed to address immediately. At that point, we didn't really know that this pandemic was coming, so that being in place and already up and running, then we were able to talk about how do we work and deal with the pandemic. They came to us and said, if you were going to try to achieve reach and relevance in your 11 major markets, what kind of resource would you need? That's where the $250 million number came up. We developed a plan and had tremendous backup. It was delivered to Secretary Gina Raimondo on her first day in office, Secretary of Commerce, along with many other travel issues. She became the best advocate that we've had, maybe not the best, but certainly one of the best advocates that we've had in helping champion travel tourism. She took it to the Hill. They gave it to her. It was given to Roger and team, and then the rest is history. It certainly got the funding and the congressional support that we needed in extraordinary times. So I'm really pleased today to introduce the newest member of the Commerce team. His name is Grant Hill. Oh, God, I knew I was going to do that. Grant Hill. I've been doing that all along, and they said, you know what?
A little shorter.
Yeah, a little shorter. Yeah, a little shorter. So Grant Harris is the Assistant Secretary of Commerce for Industry and Analysis. He was appointed by President Biden. He was confirmed by the Senate on April 7th, sworn in on April 19th, so he's kind of brand new to the position. He leads a staff of more than 250 trade and industry experts as they navigate everything related to trade in all ways that it manifests itself within the Department of Commerce. Secretary Harris has over 20 years of experience, both public and private sector, and he has some really exciting news that I want to introduce you to and bring you to stage to share with us. Great. Secretary Harris.
Good morning. Good morning. Very excited to be here. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate the warm introduction. It's fantastic to be here in Orlando at IPW. And I appreciate you setting the stage as well, Chris, in talking about the cooperation and the collaboration that exists between Brand USA, with U.S. travel and our industry partners, and also the Commerce Department. And in that regard as well, I wanted to add my thanks too to Roger. I don't know where he went, but we wanted to thank you for your tireless leadership over the years. I'm very proud and honored to be representing Secretary Raimondo and the Commerce Department here and leading the delegation to IPW. And as others have noted, just to set the stage for what we're trying to do going forward, we're extremely cognizant of the heavy impact that the pandemic has had on the travel and tourism sector. More than 2 years ago, it forced an economic shutdown, of course, around the globe, but particularly hitting hard the travel and tourism sector. The industry is still working to recover. In 2019, we had 79.4 million visitors to the United States. In 2020, that number fell all the way down to 19 million. We've got a lot of work to do to get those numbers back up. For the administration's part, with a robust vaccine rollout and with effective travel policies, we're working to start helping the travel and tourism sector rebound. But a lot of work remains, not only to reach pre-pandemic numbers, but to go beyond and to reach a more ambitious target that I'll talk more about. I'm delighted to announce that just a few moments ago, Secretary Raimondo released a new U.S. travel and tourism strategy. This national travel and tourism strategy sets an ambitious goal of increasing American jobs by attracting and welcoming 90 million international visitors and hoping that we estimate they will spend $279 billion annually by 2027. The strategy is now available on the Department of Commerce website, www.commerce.gov. So we hope you'll read it in its entirety, but I want to hit the highlights here and emphasize why we're excited about it. The National Travel and Tourism Strategy has 4 pillars. First, promote the United States as a travel destination. Second, facilitate travel to and within the United States. Third, ensure diverse, inclusive, and accessible travel experiences. And fourth, foster resilient and sustainable travel and tourism. This is in recognition of the importance that travel and tourism has in the U.S. economy. In 2019, travel and tourism supported 9.5 million American jobs and generated $1.9 trillion in economic activity. This is a vital sector that we want to continue to partner with and support and help regrow and come back stronger out of the pandemic. So what will happen because of this strategy? A few things. Because of this strategy, we will be showcasing the diverse and incredible offerings of the United States with messaging that connects with audiences of all backgrounds and abilities. We want to connect with and support underserved communities. We want everyone to be able to see themselves enjoying federal lands and waters and feeling welcome in the United States. We will help identify opportunities for state, local, and tribal governments to access funding and technical assistance to help plan, build, market, and manage sustainable tourism economies. Entry into the United States will become easier because the State Department and the Department of Homeland Security are taking steps to streamline their entry processes. To support jobs and ongoing needs of workers, we're recommending that federal agencies direct funding to support family care access, reliable worker transportation, and career pathways for the industry, including for people of color and women, in creating meaningful jobs for as many communities across the country. We will work to build a resilient tourism sector and reduce its contributions to the climate crisis by implementing measures to reduce emissions, to invest in electrical equipment and infrastructure, including electric vehicles and public transit. This is a sampling of some of the steps that we plan to take in partnership with industry to help the sector grow. And this strategy is only the latest step in the Biden-Harris administration's efforts to revitalize the travel and tourism industry. The Commerce Department's Economic Development Administration has already begun distributing $750 million to support travel, tourism, and outdoor recreation. That money is being used in places like Puerto Rico to integrate tourism into distressed urban areas with activities that focus on local artists, cultural influences, and community involvement. It's being used in places like Pennsylvania, where the funds were created a diversity, equity, and inclusion leadership and workforce training program for the tourism industry. This is all in addition to the fantastic and ongoing work of the National Travel and Tourism Office at the Department of Commerce, which puts out, among other things, vital data and statistics that inform private sector decision-making and planning, and also fiercely works to enhance the international competitiveness of the U.S. travel and tourism industry. To recap, the 2022 National Travel and Tourism Strategy aims to promote the United States as a premier travel destination, including broadening marketing efforts and encouraging visitation to underserved and underrepresented communities, to facilitate safe and efficient travel to and within the United States and its territories. In addition, the strategy will ensure diverse and accessible tourism experiences with a focus on showcasing the nation's incredible destinations and cultural experiences, while also protecting them for future generations. And it will foster resilient and sustainable travel and tourism with goals to reduce the sector's contributions to climate change. We owe great thanks to the ongoing work of the U.S. Travel and Tourism Advisory Board, which is the group that provides advice to Secretary Raimondo on matters relating to travel and tourism. Their hard work and recommendations were instrumental in encouraging the U.S. government to set a new and ambitious goal for the number of visitors that we hope to welcome. We also owe great thanks to Brand USA, to U.S. Travel, to our many partners across the industry who were not only thanking for the work done to date, but we're also going to reinvigorate our partnerships and make sure that we're able to achieve the ambitious goals in this strategy. We want to work with the travel and tourism sector to make sure that it comes back even stronger, creating jobs and fostering sustainable growth in communities across the countries for years to come. We're dedicated on our part to this goal, and we look forward to working with you in regards to achieving this exciting new strategy. Thank you so much for your time.